Hello YouTube, this is Dan, aka 1000 ASINs. I've sold $100 million of products on Amazon, but my goal is to do $100 million of sales per year and $10 million of profit per year on Amazon, so I can sell my business for tens of millions of dollars and drive into the sunset. So Ryan, my warehouse manager, and I recently just kind of masterminded what the warehouse operation has to look like to get to that $100 million of sales. I'm gonna break down the warehouse structure that is kind of the final form of what's gonna get us there, and then we'll go into some stats on like why that's gonna work. So let's start at the top. So we have the operations manager, and Ryan is that guy already, so we already have one of him. And what he's doing is all of the shipment planning, deciding like what trucks are going where, hiring, firing, performance management, looking for optimizations, purchasing equipment, probably a bunch of other stuff that I'm not thinking of right now. And then we have kind of a warehouse overall floor manager. Ryan's up in the office half the time doing computer style work, so we need an actual like someone on the floor. So we'll call this person the warehouse manager. And fortunately, we have someone there too. And then if you come this way, this is actually a really cool visual to see. We have a bird's eye view of the warehouse. So if you'll notice, there's like 3 lines of tables. So we're actually gonna expand that to 5 lines. And you might be thinking, why 5 lines? It's because Amazon shipments split into 5 different destinations now. So if you don't pay inbound placement fees, everything you ship to Amazon is going to split 5 ways. So it makes sense to have 5 different lines for processing for 5 different fulfillment centers. It also happens to be just about how much space we have, which is a happy coincidence. If you want high-level knowledge like this, not just what is an FBA shipment and how to FN SKU label your first product, well, you're going to have to go past just YouTube for that and maybe access some coaching from someone who knows what they're doing. If that does interest you, schedule a call with one of my team members and we can go through what I have to offer and see if we're a good fit to work with each other if you're trying to start an Amazon business or level up your existing business. But what we're gonna do is break it into 5 lines, then we're gonna have a line leader for each one. So let's branch this off into 5. And then we're gonna have 5 line leaders. And what the line leader is gonna do is print FN SKU labels, print box labels, quality control, making sure new employees are labeling the correct place, making sure people are working at the correct pace, and just general best practices, kind of leading the whole show, queuing up the next SKU to do, and kind of just eliminating the bottlenecks, making sure things are flowing nicely and problems are solved. So we have 2 of these done, and we're looking internally to fill these other 3. We have some possibles from within, or it might be future hires. And then within each of these lines, we're gonna have 3 people at the stations. So I'll draw these quickly. Okay, so each station is going to have 4 people at it. 1 line leader who's also going to be labeling themselves. Let's say we're doing 1,000 of a SKU. The line leader's not just sitting there. He'll jump in and label when needed. He's just kind of the facilitator, the leader. So we have 4 people times 5 prepping. That's 20 people prepping. The warehouse manager and operations manager are rarely going to prep. They're just going to problem solve and do higher level tasks for the most part. And then I forgot, off to the side, we have a different manager. So this is D2C, so that's FBM, Walmart, eBay. Now we're doing about 150 orders a day. That's probably going to expand, and we're gonna have probably a team of like 3 or 4 directly under this person, and we already have this person, fortunately, and one of these people. And we'll also do fulfilled by TikTok shipments, Walmart shipments, et cetera, maybe a whole live selling, spin-off, whatever. But this, all multi-channel and all D2C, kind of their separate thing. What I really want to talk about is this. So Ryan here has the stats on what our production is, and we're gonna math our way to 300,000 units. So currently we do 100K units a month. Okay, and how many, well, let's see, what's our average prep rate per hour?
Yeah, so currently measured across like all people prepping in the warehouse, we prep at approximately like 100 units per hour worked.
Okay, so 100 units per hour. Okay, so to get to 100,000 units,
1,000 man hours.
1,000 hours of work.
Which we've been doing in the past, like, 6 months to a year or so, around those numbers with like, I would say 6 or 7 people fulfilling those hours.
Yeah, so like one full-time person is 160 hours a week, right? 4 40-hour weeks. So 160 times about...
Well, 160 the, like, 40 a week, 160 the month.
Right. 160 in a month, right? So times 6 to 7, like you said, is exactly 1,000 hours worked. So we need about, and have right now, about 6.5 preppers.
And then of course you got to account for, there will be call outs and time
so we
missed
need
across the board.
A bit of a buffer.
well.
So to get to that 6.5 of perfect hours, we probably need 8 people or so, right?
Yeah.
So realistically, 8 people. So then we'll go to 200K and then 300K. So what we need is 13 preppers, and then for 300K we need 19.5 preppers. And then with the 20% buffer on all these, I'll say 15 people. And then we'll say like 22 people. And coincidentally, let's see, that brings us our 20. And we do have the ability to expand these lines a bit to have like 4 and a line leader. But I think this exact structure allows for 300K units, which is going to be, about $1 million profit a month at our current like profit per unit. And then the other thing that we're focused on doing, it would be great to not even need this many staff. Like we might be able to get away with like groups of 3 instead of 4 if we increase our efficiency. And we're talking about multiple ways to do that. So we can use technology to do it. We can also use different shipping workflows. So we're actually debating, do we even send stuff to 5 fulfillment centers, or do we pay placement fees just for the simplicity of like prepping more things faster? We're doing some math on that, but we might be able to get people going up to 120, 130 units an hour. And if that happens, then we reduce this amount of people by like 20%. And I actually do think that is possible. So we're doing a combination of more efficiency per hour plus just mapping out how many people are needed. So this warehouse structure is our plan, and I think we're gonna hire into this over the next couple of years. Right now we have kind of like this much done, and then we're going to slowly add this over time. I don't want to overhire and then have a huge excess of people and nothing to do. So we're going to try and balance this with the 2 other ingredients of the business, which is product and capital. And I might actually go into those 2 things too, because those are the 3 things needed to hit 9 figures of sales a year. But hopefully this gives you a glimpse into like a bigger warehouse setup, and we'll see if our plan comes to fruition. Only time will tell. So, all right. So we touched on the warehouse part of things to get to the 100 million of sales, $10 million of profit. I'm going to show you 2 other parts of the business, what I think are the 3 main ingredients. So ability to process the units is 1, but then getting the accounts and making the purchases is 2. And then lastly, there's capital. But this little section of the video, we're going to go into the purchasing side of things. So I'll show you how the business is currently structured. It's me at the top, of course. I'm actively in the process of putting those over to one of the new buyers I hired. So I actually have all 5 buyers that I plan to ever have, I think. I just brought in 3 of them in the past couple months, and then I had 2. So yeah, Nick and Tyler. And then there's 3 new ones. I'm not going to name names because they haven't been on camera yet, but this, I believe, will give me the buying firepower to get to 100 million of sales. So basically, again, just like I did with the warehouse, I'm going to reverse engineer what needs to happen on the buying side of things to do that type of number. So, so to do 100 million of sales, that means at wholesale pricing, which is 50% on average of retail price, we're going to have to spend 5 million a year at 50% retail. So how do we, excuse me, did I say year? I meant month. And actually that equates to actually 120 million of sales, but let's just roll with that. So to get to $120 million of sales per year, we're going to have to spend $5 million a month at 50% of the retail cost. So that's 60 million a year wholesale. So that 5 million is actually a nice round number when you have 5 buyers. So what does each buyer need to spend per month on average buying inventory to hit that spend number? Well, simple math would say 1 million a month, and so on and so forth. 1 million each buyer in spend per month. And that can be very difficult to do, or that can be very easy to do, depending on the price point of the items. We have items at very high price points where you can cut a 700K PO in, an hour. But then we have low ticket items where you have to buy 30, 40,000 units to even hit 100K. So it does depend on the price points. So in reality, it might be, buyers with my higher price items, they might spend 1.5 or 2 million a month on product. And then the ones dealing with like the grocery and low ticket, they might do 500K a month. But regardless, it's a stat I'm going to now be tracking pretty soon. Spend per month per buyer. We're going to evaluate it, see if we're like way off, way short, and what needs to change to get to this 5 million. I think it's very, very possible. In fact, almost easy if we have all the accounts lined up to cut $1 million of POs each. So each of these buyers will have their own set of accounts, hopefully 10 to 20 accounts that are pretty big to choose from, what to buy, when to buy it. And that's basically it. As long as we hit that spend and things go according to plan on the sales side, which they almost always do, then we should be able to hit that, no problem. So that's it for purchasing. Now, next we're going to go into the capital side, and then you're going to see the plan in its entirety. All right, last piece of the puzzle is going to be capital. So how much capital do I realistically need to do these types of numbers? So the way I like to look at it is, what is my average return on my inventory valuation per year? So right now, my inventory value is about 6 or 7 million minus some debt, and my gross profit right now is probably 400 or 500K a month. So that roughly equates to about 100% return on inventory per year. So to get to the $10 million gross profit, one would reason that you need $10 million of inventory and get a 100% return on that inventory. However, the story is a little bit more complicated than that because we have overhead. So this 100%, this is gross margin. So this is just the Amazon profit before any overhead. Unfortunately, as you have a much bigger business, you have a lot of overhead, payroll, rent, loan interest, etc. Historically, my overhead has been about 50% of my gross margin. So what I'm actually thinking is that I need a base of inventory that's not $10 million a year, but actually just about double that. So I think I'm gonna actually need to be spinning about $20 million of inventory. So I'm actually a far cry from that right now. I think, like I said, I have I think about 7 million right now. So I'm gonna need to finance another $13 million of inventory to realistically do these numbers. So my plan to do that, my immediate plan is another 2.5 million from the SBA. That'll get me up to 10. And then I'm shoveling more and more profit back into inventory. So as my gross profit is like 3 million a year, then 4, then 5, then 6, I'm gonna just reinvest almost all that and like basically self-finance myself with my own profit. So I think it's gonna take probably 3 or 4 years, a combination of bigger loans and then reinvestment of profit, but I think I can get to this 20 million base in hopefully 3 or 4 years. It's really my 5-year plan to get to 10 million profit. So I think the way things are going, I should be able to ramp up definitely within 5 years to that. And then the other way to get here faster is to create a higher than 100% a year return on inventory. And there are a couple ways to do that. One is just making smarter buys. A lot of times, like, bad stuff will drag you down, just eliminating like the worst performing products in suppliers and just culling the herd basically. And then another way to do it is faster turns, so more D2C, FBM, quicker inventory turns, because the inventory cycle on Amazon is very slow. It's like once a quarter you get to do a full inventory cycle. So I think those are the two things, and just cutting down the inventory cycle as much as I possibly can, getting more efficient with prepping stuff faster, and maybe buying less inventory but more frequently so I'm not tying up a bunch of capital, so I can be more efficient with my capital. So there are a lot of things to get this number way up. I actually think this is probably average to below average comparing myself with other Amazon sellers. I think I probably could get this up to 150, maybe even 200%, in which case the inventory base would go down, a lot. The more efficient my ROI per year is, the less inventory base I need to hit this. So yeah, it's going to be a combination of constantly getting bigger credit card limits, more term loans, bigger term loans, and reinvesting profit. And if I can do those 3 things, have the buying power, enough accounts to spend that type of money, the capital to spend the money, and then the warehouse processing power, I see no reason I can't just 3x my business and scale to this number. And then that'll be the magic number where I look to actually attempt to sell my business if there's a buyer for it out there. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna try and put out more high-level content like this for you guys, and see you in the next video. Take care.